Watch what they do, not what they say. Always. Watch what they do, not what they say. Always, always, always. All right. So it took forever, took north of forever. But the Trump transition finally announced they signed an agreement with the Justice Department that allows the FBI to start doing background checks for Trump's nominees for the cabinet and other important jobs running the United States government. Initially, of course, the Trump team had indicated that they were going to try to skip the usual process to not have the FBI check anyone's background, not only for nominations, but specifically for security clearances. As the weeks ticked by, though, as the problematic nominations and surprise revelations about them piled up, some Republican senators did start telling reporters that those traditional background checks seemed like a good thing to keep, that they were something that mattered to them. In that context, the Trump transition announced that they had changed their mind, that they had finally entered into a memorandum of understanding with the U.S. Justice Department. The agreement, quote, allows the transition team to submit names for background checks and security clearances. It will, quote, ensure President Trump and his team are ready on day one to begin enacting the America First agenda. That was what the Trump transition put in writing, right? And the indication. Indication there, like the vague implication is, oh, here come the background checks.
From Bear Stearns,
right? That's what they said.
The New York Fed coming as a shock.
But they left themselves a brainworm's worth of wiggle room in there. As the New York Times put it, quote, the announcement did not say whether Trump would require his appointees to undergo the process or whether they were simply allowing the FBI to begin looking at those who were willing to submit to their scrutiny.
But our liquidity position.
Meanwhile, some cabinet nominees are reportedly opposed to submitting themselves to an FBI check until Trump gets rid of the current FBI leadership and puts his own people in charge. An attorney for Pete Hegseth, who's Trump's choice for defense secretary, has now said that the would-be defense secretary got his forms from the FBI on Wednesday. That implies that there will be a background check of him. We shall see. It is hard to tell much more than that about what is going on inside this process. We've asked Mr. Hegseth's attorney whether Hegseth volunteered for this FBI background check or whether the transition required him to go through it. We've also asked whether the Trump transition is requiring background checks for everyone. We've asked them whether they will share the results of these background checks with all senators. If and when we hear back, we'll let you know. But in the meantime, and always, watch what they do, not what they say.
Alternatives for the company. We continue following this story throughout the next hour here on Closing Bell. But first, let's get the trading action for the rest of the market. Bob,